Hey, good day, ladies and germs. Elton McFall here, rocking the somewhat rare 58 Schwinn Mark II Jaguar, Mark I Jaguar. And there's a type of truck you don't see too often around here. Actually kind of goes along with that GMC. With that Honda, I mean. Not a lot of these around here. And it's gas on top of that. That's awesome. It's a gas V8. That's about a dying breed as this Honda Accord itself, actually, because that truck is from probably, I don't know, let's say 2005, around there, 6, 4. Everything was diesel now. Gas V8s just suck gas, you know. Speaking of dying breeds, look at that as I'm floating around the Schwinn in the saison estivale of old cars. The the ideal season for old cars. I'm trying to translate it, but even me sometimes I get lost with this language. This is definitely a 1990, maybe 91 or 92. I'm pretty sure that's a 90, judging by that kind of a cinnamon brown color. It didn't last very long, I guess. Man, it's in amazing condition. Even the rubber, look at the rubber, is beautiful on that. The chrome, the headlights, I think were definitely changed, that's for sure. Original hubcaps, definitely not a deluxe model. That's an EX model. Man, how many of these did I ride in over the years as a kid, as a teenager? I mean, you know, when this came out in 1990, I was 14 years old. And it's funny because a year earlier, my mom bought a Camry, brand new, and I think my dad was jealous of that. I can say that because he's been dead for a long time. And I think he was jealous of that because he still had the 79 Delta 88, speaking of gas-sucking V8s. And then a year later, my parents split, and that's when my dad sold the Delta 88 for $200. I was not pleased. And hey, there's my landlord's car. Not all rotted like that, but anyway. And then my dad bought an '87 Maxima, white like my mom's car. He wanted it white, I think, ideally. Anyway. And look at that. There's not a ton of mileage on that car. It still has the original chrome exhaust tip. These were iconic to these cars. And as a matter of fact, if you had an EXI, or I think in the States was EXR, you had the twin pipes and it had the alloy, beautiful alloy wheels. I mean, these are really like very standard. This is something I would have put on the Civic. The paint is probably original. It's in perfect condition. Man, I've seen people sell these asking like $8,000 for these cars on Marketplace. Look at that. Perfect condition. Perfect. Man, I don't know when the next time I'm going to see one clean like this. I figured I will record it. Look, it's actually a decent, you know, kind of backdrop. The brown is fitting, actually, oddly enough, with that building. The old CN yard used to be back there. And it's funny, as much as I love these Chargers, let's not kid ourselves. It's a piece of junk compared to a Honda Accord or a Toyota Camry. I mean, even I know that. I love American cars my whole life. When I was a kid, okay, like before everybody started going into imports. Look, my dad had the 79 Delta 88. This is when we lived in the burbs in Roxborough between 84 and 91. And then the neighbor across the street, he had an Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra. Mind you, they were old folks. The neighbors next to us, before they got their Volvo 7 Series, they had an 80 Cutlass Supreme Coupe. And the neighbor next to us, the old woman who was a coot, she had a Pontiac 6000 wagon. So what does that tell you about how Americans still had control of the car market in North America up until the 90s? And then it all just... It's because of cars like this. Cars like this, you put hundreds of thousands of kilometers, and they just go and go and go. And it's, I don't know, I'd like to say maybe it's like my bike, you know, built to last. No, but these are rare today. Everybody just threw this stuff out in the garbage. It's old, throw it out. That's how it was back then. But then again, it's funny I should say that. You know how many thousands of 55 to 57 Chevrolets are still out there? I mean, you know how many of those are still in Cuba alone? Man, oh man. Anyways, that's really cool to see, and that's why I love what I do, even though, again, I don't really get paid for it. You know, generally speaking, it's kind of a joke. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I hate these things. Hate them. This is as cheap as it gets. This is what's sad about cars, at least like this Honda, right? This car is what? This car is going on 35 years old, and the craftsmanship is there. The quality was there. The quality of the fabric of the seats, the door panels had fabric, even the plastic is better, even the color. You notice the interior has a color. That was the last years for colored interiors was the 90s. Seriously. Anyway, that's it for that. I'm going to keep floating on, and I think I'm going to go do a ride video on Sherbrooke. So you guys take care, be well, be good. And we'll see you on the next shiz.